we're going to talk about academic only this first hour, okay? So, of course, y'all know who I am. I'm Coach Wise with Coach Wise Up. And the first slideshow we're going to use is the academic journey to college athletic. All right, so again, same thing. I believe in the EPIC method, educating parents and student athletes and inspiring and cultivate student athletes. Go ahead, Jeff. Okay, here we go. All right, so in order to qualify for the NCAA Clearinghouse, let me say this first, parents. If your son is an athlete, it don't matter, nothing else matters but the NCAA Clearinghouse. Your state don't matter, your high school, your district, none of that matters, okay? If they clear the clearinghouse, I guarantee you they'll graduate from that school. So in order to clear the clearinghouse, you gotta have 16 units. So pay attention to this, because I'm gonna ask a question after this. So we go by a chart. Here's the chart. 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 2 years of sciences, 2 years of what I call social studies, they call it social science. 4 years of any, 1 year other. They give me my 16 units, okay? That's how you get your 16 units for graduation. Now, what the biggest thing about your units, different divisions, both divisions, Division 1 got a scale, Division 2 got a scale. Both of them got 16 units. The biggest difference is, as you see, instead of 4 years of English, for Division 2, you need 3 years of English. And they break it down like that. But what we always go off of, and what I always like teaching, is the Division 1 scale. Because if we meet the Division 1 scale, you're going to pretty much meet the Division 2 scale, okay? If you meet the Division 1 scale, you're going to pretty much graduate from the high school that you're going to, okay? Now, the biggest thing is, biggest question y'all should want to know is, first of all, this is why I hate the slideshow. So another thing, when you got 16 units, and then we do the GPAs, okay? Now, this is very important, parents. And I might have asked some of y'all this on the Zoom call. This is very important. Do anybody know how you calculate an NCAA GPA? Okay? Y'all sure y'all don't know? Okay, so this is the difference from the NCAA and your actual school. What your school does is that they take 3 classes, and let's just say you had all 80s, and they're going to take 80, 80, 80, that's 240 divided by 3, and they're going to say you got an 80 GPA, okay? NCAA don't do it like this. NCAA says for every A that you make, you get, if it's a year class, you get 4 points. If it's a semester class, you get 2 points. Again, for a B, you get 3 points, either 1.5. C, you get 2, either 1. A D, you get either 1, either 0.5, okay? So it's halves and wholes. So if you got a 99 average and he got a 91 average, what's your GPA? Huh? It's the same, 4.0, okay? And that's where people get it mixed up at. So when you go to get your GPA for, and some of you guys might say, my kid got a 4.1, 4.3, still got 4.0, it still got an A with the NCAA. That don't even matter, okay? So basically, that's the breakdown of it. Go ahead next, Jen. Okay, all right, so here's the most important part. And then the next couple of slides is gonna be very important for you guys. All right, anybody know what a Form 48H is? Okay, y'all do. Y'all got high school kids, right? Okay, one thing you need to keep in mind, Form 48H is the lifeline. So every high school in America has a Form 48H form with the NCAA, okay? Just like here in Atlanta, Georgia, let's say Fulton County got about 32 high schools, all of them under the same Board of Education. Every one of them got a different Form 48H with the NCAA. Form 48H tell the NCAA what classes from that high school is considered a core class, okay? So for example, we got a school across town that's called Westlake High School. Business law is a core class. This high school right here is also Fulton County under the same Board of Education. Business law is not a core class. Reason why Westlake is a Magna Law School, okay? This ain't a Magna Law School, so you gotta know. So Form 48H, it tells the NCAA every class from your high school that's counted toward them 16 units I was telling you, okay? So you got to know, because if your high school, if your son taking the class and is on his transcript, and is on his transcript and is not on the Form 48H, he's not going to get credit for it, okay? So y'all question would be, okay, Coach, well, since you're talking about the Form 48H, where do we find it at? Next slide, Jim. All right, this is a $1 million worth of information. Y'all see the QR code. If you click the QR code, it's going to take you to the NCAA portal, okay? When y'all click that and get to the NCAA portal, let me know if somebody got it, then I'm going to walk you through it. Who on the, did it pop up? Okay, it should be like a blue and white page, a green and white page that show you, it says city, state, name of school, all that, right? Okay, so what I want you to do is go in there and pick what state your school is in, your son's high school is in, okay? And when you do that, then basically just go stroll down and find the name of his high school and put a bubble in there. Let me know when somebody got it. And the easy way is just to put the state there. You can put the state and city, it might pop up, but I always just put the state in there and then just know what the name of the school. Okay, anybody got it? Got your school, all right, so you see something that says show approved course, all approved courses, put a bubble there, okay? And if you put a bubble there, you scroll down, it'll show you every class at your high school that's a core class. If your son taking any classes that's not on there, then it doesn't count. So I know y'all ain't found PE yet, know y'all ain't found weightlifting class yet, know y'all ain't played body structure, which is the same thing. You ain't found no health classes. You haven't found basic 9th grade math on there yet, none of that. So this is something that the schools don't tell you. This is the Form 48H, okay? And you might have some, and then let me go back. When we calculate GPAs, those that got kids that's in AP classes or honor classes. If you go up, you'll see your school grading system, okay? Grading system. If it don't say nothing about if a kid take an AP class that his school gives him 1%, 1 point, then you don't get it. Schools would be lazy at the same time, y'all. That's what I'm trying to show you. Or if it's an honor class, if it don't say 0.5, that means they don't get extra points for that. Your school, that is the legal document that your school get an NCAA, okay? And like I said, some of you in here can compare notes and see your school offers something that another school don't offer, okay? Those are your core classes coming from your school. So when you, and y'all 9th and 10th graders, so when you get ready to do your son's classes, make sure he's taking the right class. Now, from y'all city, state, yeah, they're going to make them take PE class. And the football coach probably going to make them come to weight training every semester. I hate that because you'll find out your kid will get behind because weight training don't count. But guess what? Football coach want them in that. Oh, come to body structure. Hey, dude, y'all killing the kids because in a minute I'm going to show you why that's killing them because most kids these days graduate early. And you can't graduate early taking classes that don't count toward graduation, okay? Next screen, Jen. Okay, now we do have, you have the NCAA and you have NAIA, okay? We don't talk much about NAIA because everybody puts Division I. But the rules for the NAIA to qualify is a little different. They don't go by core classes. They go by, you got to have at least a 2.0 GPA. You got to make 2 of the 3 things, GPA, test scores, either class ranking, to either go to an NAIA school. NAIA is another governing body for athletics, just like the NCAA. They got the same power. But most of your NAIA schools would be some of your smaller schools that you don't see on TV on Saturdays, okay, or during the week. Okay, next slide, Jen. Okay, now I'm going to stop for a minute, and this is my best part. The biggest thing that I wanted to get across to y'all first is the chart and and the Form 48H. If y'all don't learn anything else from this group, I want you to learn that. Now, I'll open it up for anybody got any questions academically, on the academic that you want to know. Do I need to break down a little better for you? Yes, sir. You had a question right there? Listen, I'm gonna make y'all get up and do jumping jacks because we gotta get live. This is very important because I'm telling y'all high school don't break this down like it should be broke down. Okay? So there again, the basics is the Form 48H. The basics is the chart. If you don't get it, how many of y'all know kids say, "Oh man, I had a certain GPA, and then when it get ready to go to college, they say I ain't eligible." The reason why they calculate the wrong GPAs. Yes, sir.
My question is this, as far as AP and honors classes, which class between the two has more weight towards graduation, especially towards graduating early?
Okay, great question. Both of them had the same weight as far as graduating early or graduating. And this is the problem, because I talked about y'all bad last week, just let you know, Mama, that I talked bad about y'all last week with the juniors. So let me break that down differently. Okay, how many of y'all kids take AP classes? Okay, how many of y'all kids take honors classes? Okay, so let me give you the truth. If they take honor classes, you're wasting your time. Because the only thing you're doing with the honor classes, they're just making it more strenuous for them, okay? So what I always like to say, and all this is my opinion, if you're taking an honor class and you're struggling with an 80, let them take the regular class and go get a 90, because honor class is only an honor class. An AP class is different. AP class, if they pass it, they get college credits toward it. Honor class, you don't get college credits for it. AP, you do. So that's the difference from, I'll get you next, that's the difference from AP classes and honor classes, okay? AP classes mean a kid will go to college, and after his first semester, he should be a freshman, he might be a sophomore in the classroom. If he's on scholarship, he's gonna get his master's degree paid for, okay? That's the difference, okay? AP classes. Honor classes, I can't tell y'all not to let your kid take honor classes, but I see so many times athletes take honor classes and they got a B when they can take the regular class and get an A, and that A gonna jump the GPA up and that B gonna bring the GPA down, okay? So get some out of it. And let me mention on this before I go to your question, dual enrollment, okay? How many of y'all kids gonna do dual enrollment, okay? So let me tell you the key with dual enrollment. You gotta be careful. When you put your kid in dual enrollment, understand and ask these questions. What school are they doing the dual enrollment with? And if they leave that state, so let's say here in Georgia, let's say I was doing dual enrollment with Gwinnett College, okay? All right, and then I get the dual enrollment done and I decide to go to college in Chicago. That dual enrollment, them classes may not go with me to Chicago because it'll stay in state with dual enrollment. You gotta ask these questions, because if you don't ask these questions, you'll be thinking one thing, then when they get to college, you say, well, we got college credit, we done took this. It ain't gonna count, because different states do it different ways. Yes, sir.
So I know we're talking at.
Okay, now I got you. They're trying to give you a microphone.
Answer my question.
She's trying to give you a microphone because you're recording.
My bad.
Yes, sir.
So you're talking about the honors classes or whatever. I mean, we're talking athletically wise, right? Towards scholarships, stuff like that. But academically wise, let's say a kid wants to go to a Div 3 school that can't offer athletic scholarships. Doesn't that honors class make a big difference to help with getting an academic scholarship to that school to help?
So let me go back to that. First of all, you said that right. Everything we're talking about is on the athletic side, but I'm finna go to the academic side with you, okay? So here's the thing, when you're talking about an academic scholarship in college, it's according to what college you're talking about. Just like if your kid want to go to Yale, Harvard, Princeton, Stanford, like that, then honestly, the NCAA, you got to clear it, but those schools going to make you come into those schools just like a regular student, okay? And they want your high school curriculum to be as rigorous as possible for you to go to those schools because they got tier systems, okay? Like your Harvard might say you got 1, 2, and 3 tiers. One tier is kids that got it all together academically, got the rigorous classes, hard classes. Then you got tier 2. He might have it, but not all that tier 1 got. And then you got tier 3. You're on the borderline and you need help to get in, okay? So it's according, that's a great question. It's according to which type school you're talking about. When you're talking about Ivy League stuff, you're talking about none of them give athletic scholarships. That all that money is based on parents' finances, and grades, because everybody there got the grades. When you start talking about schools like a Stanford out in California, most colleges says this, just for y'all to know. If you clear the NCAA Clearinghouse and you're an athlete, it doesn't matter what your GPA is, as long as you clear, you're going to get in those schools. Schools like Stanford, and it may be a couple more that's what I'm calling regular school, says, we don't care nothing about the NCAA Clearinghouse. If you can't get in our school just like a regular student, which a regular student is way harder than an athlete, then you can't come to our school. That's just a handful. The rest of them, just like take Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech engineering school, as long as you clear the clearinghouse, they're going to find a degree to put you in. You're going to get accepted because you got recruited and you came through there. Just like the University of Georgia, for example. If you was a regular student, you got to have a certain GPA, certain test score, this and that, right, to get in. And a lot of regular students don't get in. Athletes, clear the clearinghouse, have a 2.3 GPA, you're going to get accepted. So that's how that works. So it's just according to which side. So what I do say, and let's go deep, what I do say is I believe all the kids that I deal with, let's go get it all if we can do it. But sometimes us as parents put, to me, now this is my opinion, put too much pressure on the kid because playing ball is a full-time job, especially now in the college levels, okay? So what you're asking your kid to do is, because I know a parent tried to do this until I think I want it, but I got to go check that transcript because I think you ain't do it. But you can't go put your kid in 5 AP classes and tell him he playing ball. Too much pressure. Because AP classes is very demanding. They got all the extra stuff, but coach don't care. He still got to come to practice, still got to come to work out, this and that. If you got one can do it, cool. But I wouldn't advise it. Okay, now, but can he take 2 AP classes, maybe 3? Cool, yeah, according to what they are. But sometimes we push too hard. And I can't say some kids, and I done dealt with kids that went to Harvard, Yale, Princeton. Matter of fact, I dealt with 2 twins one time that was amazing to us, only missed one on the ACT and then one on the SAT. And they were National Honor Scholars, okay? And both of them engineers right now for, I think it's Google. They engineers now, but they played ball. They handled it. Don't ask me how. Just like, again, I'll say this. So you know the temperature of your child, but always understand now that's a lot of pressure you're putting on them at the same time. So, but what you're saying, yes, if we was looking at it from just the student side, to getting into college is totally different, okay? But let's even go further than this, because I want to bring that to show you how the end is fine. So now, you do have athletes that's on full academic scholarships and not athletic scholarship. All day that's, y'all watching on Saturdays, okay? But their road ain't that strenuous to get those academic scholarships as if somebody that's not in the athletic department, if that makes sense. You don't have to have a 4.5 to get academic scholarship. It's just according to what school you're talking about. Any other question? Good question, though. Yes, ma'am. So, So I'm gonna put it like this. Again, when we talking about a regular student, yes. When you talking about an athlete, no. But the reason why I want them to do the community service, and the reason why I want them to do as much as he can, because there's a such thing now that's called NIL, name, image, and likeness. So now you're talking about branding, and we'll talk about that third quarter. I don't want to get deep in it. Now you're talking about the branding of the athlete, because more here in the community start loving him, and it turns to money. But as far as getting into college, no, unless, again, we're talking about those Yales, those Harvards, those type schools, okay? So on the athletic end, honestly, we got it easy. That's what's so funny about it. Get all the money and got it easy. Yes, ma'am. Correct. And so here's the thing. So the clearinghouse is what we were talking about. Now, each athlete, so this is how I go. When you get recruited, and I don't know y'all knew this, especially to a Division I school, you never do an application like a regular student do. When I sign you in your package, I send you the application. When we get the application back, we got a whole athletic academic department that looks over it with compliance and say, she cleared the clearinghouse, this and that. Yep, we're gonna take the GPAs, regular GPAs, then we're gonna push it to the admission department. So again, the answer is yes and the answer is no. When you're coming through athletics, it's a whole different monster. But now, let's just say that kid was a walk-on, because believe it or not, it's still PWO deals being handed out, okay? So a PWO, his road to success is different. That school, really, they recruit him, but he's not on scholarship. He still has to pass the clearinghouse, but he has to get in that school just like a regular student. He don't get the break from a scholarship guy. He has to get in as a regular student, and that's when stuff like that will come into play. But believe it or not, if the coaching staff give you a PWO, they got exception to say, hey, we want him. You can't put him on our side, but he's on our side, so to speak. Yes, sir.
My son's school, there's a couple students every year that leave early in December to go play for D1 schools. How are they doing that if they're leaving the middle of December to go?
So this is what happens. We do, because I do it every day, and I basically tell especially now because the transfer portal and all this, that's something big that I think every high school athlete should consider. Okay, so only thing you're really doing is accelerating the second semester of your senior year. And you can do it different ways. You can do it, y'all got young kids, so y'all can easily do it. Instead of taking that PE class or that elective class at your school that don't count, they can also take an extra core class. Instead of taking PE, they can take Algebra 2, okay, early, okay? And then them classes is adding up because they took it, even though on their school they're gonna say elective, but that's a core class. So they already accelerating graduation requirements. Or every summer, they could take an extra class in summer school, or 2 or 3 classes in summer school that would be the year ahead, okay? So when they get their transcripts, they're already ahead. That's what it is. The only thing you're really doing is accelerating. So let me go a little deeper, because that's a good question. So you got schools that got what we call block systems, and you got schools that we call regular semester systems. Y'all know the difference from a block system and a semester system? Okay, a block system is your child stay in class about 45 minutes of class, and when he takes that class, at the end of the semester, he get 1 unit for that class. A semester system, they stay in class 30 minutes, and they take part 1 the first semester and part 2 the second semester. The ones that's on block system is really getting ahead because they can get their graduation requirements a lot quicker. So like if you put a kid, like if I put a kid in a summer school class, I want a year class for them to take that summer school because only thing they're doing, let's just say, for example, one of the requirements is 12th grade English. Some kids can take 12th grade English in the summertime after their 11th grade year. They can take it. It's just going how smart they was coming in high school. They can take 12th grade English in 11th grade. They could have took high school English 9th grade as an 8th grader, just like you can take Algebra 1 as an 8th grader. And so the only thing you're doing is accelerating all your requirements so you can graduate early, and then the colleges pick you up that way. A lot of reasons people don't like graduating early, and parents, I'm going to hip y'all to this game, and I'm sort of dividing off to the third quarter, but I'll come back, I answer this, is they say, well, my son ain't going to be able to go to the prom. Oh, well, he ain't going to get the enjoy his senior year. Oh, he ain't going to graduate with his class. None of that ain't true. They can always come back and go to the prom. Heck, the colleges will send them back and pay for the tuxedos, okay? They can come back and march with their class at the end of the year if that they wish to do. But other than that, you just send them there a second semester doing nothing, just to have fun. And the reason why that's so important in athletics is everybody hearing about the transfer portal, right? Okay, the truth with the transfer portal is the transfer portal, and I'm going into next session, but I'll pick up. True transfer portal is not killing high school kids. The problem is high school kids ain't being developed. So if I can get your son on my campus a semester early for 6 months, put him in my program, get him acclimated to college. When the freshmen come in the summertime, he's a freshman, but he's acclimated. So now I'm already to develop him for 6 months because he's going through spring ball with us in the whole 9 yards, if that makes sense. And that's how you get ahead with it. But we'll talk about that on the recruiting part of it. Any other questions? The light on me. I don't want to miss nobody. No other questions? Jen, I need to go with my next screen then. And this is what this is about. Actual questions, academic. How many of y'all got kids that got IEPs, 504 plans, learning disabilities? Okay, let's talk about those for a little bit. What do you got, a 504 or IEP? Okay, if your child got a 504, y'all know the difference from a 504 plan and an IEP? What's the difference? Okay, so the difference from a 504 plan and an IEP is this. A 504 plan is a local mandate. Only person that mandating that is the school system that you have. An IEP is a federal mandate. So I always advise all parents, if your child got a 504 plan, which do have accommodations, go to your school ASAP and tell them you want that switch to a 504 plan. Why? Because an IEP, a 504 plan, if you had, let's say your school was in North Carolina. When your son leave that school system in North Carolina, the next school system don't have to honor none of those accommodations, okay? When you got an IEP, he can go anywhere in the United States, college, workforce, anything, and they gotta honor it because that's a federal mandate. Schools ain't gonna tell you that because they want the easy way out. But we ain't gonna let them have the easy way out. So even with kids that got, and I'm a big advocate for kids with learning disabilities, by the way, and IEPs, and a lot of people think a kid that got an IEP 504 plan learning disability is not a smart kid. You got kids that's in gifted programs that got IEPs because they learn different. It ain't that they ain't smart like everybody else. They learn different. They learn from different accommodations. Like you said, it could be smaller class setting, more time on tests, reading to them so they can understand it. You know, and I'll say this, and I actually fought a whole state school system for a kid with IEP in Virginia, okay? I'm a big advocate for it because I'm a parent of a kid with an IEP that I never understood it until I got deep in it. Because, you know us, I'm old school. Boy, you just lazy. You don't want to do your schoolwork and you ain't going to be in my house and go get that belt. until I found out he really was struggling because he learned different. But I used to say, boy, you can learn a whole football playbook, but you can't do your schoolwork. And what I found out was kids with learning disability, you have to deal with them on things that they like or they enjoy. If they don't like it, they check out. So we used to have to teach my son, I don't mind telling y'all, the way that we taught him geometry, we said, you know what an equilateral triangle is? Nope. You know what a cover 3 is in defense? Yep. Safety on the top, 2 corners side by side, safety on the top. That's an equilateral triangle. Man, I love it. And that's how he got he got a college degree, because that's the way we had to teach. Or even I had to learn as a daddy that, hey, when I talk to you and I explain stuff to you, I have to use things that you like to teach it to you, and he picks it up and get it. And it's amazing to me because, and I can't lie to you guys, it's amazing to me because I just thought my child was being lazy. I just thought he didn't want to do. He used to do all his homework, and if this the math folder, and this is math homework, and this the English folder, he put all the math homework in the English folder and don't turn it in, and been and did it. It's called organization skills. So I had to literally go and say, boy, this is the yellow notebook for this. This is green. This is that. Do not even take this book, this folder to that class. Everything you need. So IEP. So now let me even get deeper with IEP and 504s, just to let y'all know who I am. I fought the state of Georgia. I fought the SAT, ACT at the same time. State of Georgia used to have the graduation test, right? And the graduation test in the state of Georgia said in order to get your high school diploma, you had to pass the graduation test. But the state of Georgia said a kid with an IEP or 504 that had accommodation could not use their accommodation on the graduation test. I had a fit, and I took it all the way to the state superintendent, because I said, how are you going to educate a kid, let him use his accommodation, and then take him away from him when you're taking the test? And I won it, and now Georgia don't even do the graduation test anymore. They started saying that if you made a certain grade in the class, you didn't have to worry about it. I was one of the advocates for that, okay? SAT, ACT did the same thing. I wrote letters to them, and I won it there, because if a kid is getting their accommodations, they got to have them all the way around. Because, like, I don't know y'all know, but when your kid get grown and he get a job, they got to take a test, they got to give him the same accommodation to take that test. Because that's why I want everybody to have an IEP, which is a federal mandate, not a local mandate. So nobody can come back and say, that was just your school system promising that they was going to do it. An IEP is a federal contract that if they can't educate your child, they got to pay for your child to get educated, okay? So IEPs is big time, and I'm going to be honest, I'm here, y'all my family this weekend. I share all kind of stuff with y'all. My thing was, I didn't want my son to have an IEP and no accommodation, because when I was in school, they put kids that had IEPs on the hallway with kids and everybody teased them. That ain't what it is. They got what you call team talk classes now, and I know here in Georgia, and you in the same class, they're so crazy because I laugh at kids every day about this, and you will have 2 teachers in the class, one sitting in the back of the class, what we used to know as a teacher's aide, and when it's time to take tests, they'll stand up, hey, anybody in here want to go to the library and take the test? Everybody want to get out of the class, right? So people go to the library that don't even need the accommodation, but they can't make a difference and there's some that got to go. And when I learned all that, hey, man, we're going to use the system to make sure you do what you need to do. And I'm going to tell you now, I know kids got master's degrees that has IEPs, but you got to take it. Just like, for example, I come back to this. If a kid was trying to clear the clearinghouse and was struggling with the GPA, did you know a kid that got a 504 plan, the IEP, get to take an extra 2 units after graduation just to get their GPAs up to qualify? It's a lot of stuff that goes along, but we don't ask for it as parents. Just like when y'all go to the SST meetings y'all control SST meetings, not the school. Whatever the school recommend, always ask for more. Ask for everything, because you want it in that IEP folder, so when you take it to the college, even college different, but like my son, it was funny. He never had to take notes in college. They sent somebody to the class to take notes for him. He never had to take tests in the college classroom. He had time and a half. We got all the extra. I asked for stuff that he didn't need just to have it, to make sure he was being educated. So those of you that might have a kid that need an IEP or 504, you might want to look into it instead of letting them fail. Because again, kids that's gifted are kids learn different. That's why they're gifted. Okay? That could be an IEP. You teach them totally different type deal. Okay? Any other questions? Yeah. Oh, I got a text message. Listen, but I can't live without the phone and with the phone. Going once, going twice. All right, go ahead and do it. Okay. Any other questions? Look, I can't look, we got another 20 minutes. I'm trying to get y'all warmed up to me. Ask your question. Yes, sir.
We had a daughter that she had a learning disability to an extent, and we went through the school trying to get the 504 or whatever. They denied us. Let's say our son has something in that similar thing. What's the best way to go about it so that your school can't turn you down?
So let me tell you what I did. Good, great question. That's why I need y'all to ask me, because I'm gonna give you the thing. I'm a fighter, okay? I found out when my son was in the 8th grade, one of the teachers came to me. He said, "Coach," and I didn't understand it at the time. So I'm saying 8th grade. He said, "Coach, something ain't right. Something ain't right. You may need to get him checked out." Said every time we're in class and we do group classes, he answered all the questions perfect. When we give him the test, he bombed the test. Something ain't right. I said, "Man, you calling my son dumb, man. I ain't listening to that. I ain't finna put my son in one of those slow classes." I'm just being honest, slow classes. And he got through. When we moved to Atlanta, Georgia, in the 9th, 10th grade, I started saying science, okay? And then I moved him to this school. This school is a real good academic school. I moved him to this school and found out the same thing was happening. And I did exactly what you did. When I was at the school across town, I went to him, I said, "Man, my son need to be tested for this. We got issues." "Oh, we'll get to it," this and that. A year went by, they never got to it. When I moved him up here, I learned so much more, and I said it again, my son need to be tested. They denied me. I said, "I'll fix you," because I had somebody that I knew that dealt with IEPs. So what I did, I hired my own doctor and took him to the doctor and got the diagnosis. And then I came back to the school system. I said, "Here's your diagnosis." They said, "We can't accept it, Mr. Wise, because it's not done by our school psychology." I said, "But listen, either y'all finna get sued or either y'all finna do something, because I got a diagnosis. I don't care who did it. Your doctors better jump on it." This is what made me mad. They jumped on it. Guess what they did? Their doctor took exactly what our doctor wrote, put it on his letterhead, and gave us the IEP. And then every time I went to the SST meeting, they said, "Oh, he's doing good, and maybe we want to take him off this." Well, maybe he's doing good because of the accommodations that y'all getting. So why are we taking it off? So I always ran, when it was time to go to the meetings and the SST and the teacher work, boy, every day I'm emailing, "Hey, this. Oh, no, y'all gonna do y'all job." So us as parents, what we don't do correctly as parents, we get scared of the system because we think the school system control us when we control the school system. So you have to be a nag sometimes. So if they don't want to do right by you, just send your child to your own doctor. And I'm telling you, when you do and you get the diagnosis and give it to them, they're going to say, we can't accept it because it's not done by one of our doctors. But your doctors better be doing it because I done showed you the diagnosis. You got to respect it. And that's how I beat it. That. And that's how I teach. And this is what I do. I'm glad you brought that up. I want to teach all y'all how to beat. I'm a loophole guy. I want to teach y'all how to beat what you're going through because us as parents, we get a bad name. I don't know if y'all realize that. First, we get a bad name by coaches because I used to be a coach. Man, he want his son to be the best on the team, and he living through his son, and they don't understand this and that. But like I always had to ask coaches, do you have children? No. Dude, you ain't even got a conversation for me. Because until you have a child and go through a child and be a parent, you won't never understand what we do as parents. Same thing for a school system. School system, and some of y'all educators, I'm sorry, school system only about one thing, making sure your kid graduates from that school system and this and that, easy as possible. But easy as possible might not be the right way. You know, because sometimes but as parents, if you're going to believe in it and never challenge them, that's what you're going to get. So I'm a renegade. I'm going to challenge everything, even if I don't need to challenge it. I just like messing with them because I believe in making people do their job. Because, like, again, you can go and accelerate your kid to graduate, and they're going to say, no, he can't do that. Yeah, he can. They just don't want you to do it because it makes them do more work to be able to keep up with it. Any other questions? I think I'm getting y'all lathered up a little bit. Yes, sir.
Find information where you can gain more assistance through the IEP program, for like when you said that your child didn't have to take notes, somebody was taking it for them.
So
I feel that if I go and ask them, for additional, they'll be like, nah, we don't do that here, or it's not.
So if you got an IEP and you go ask for additional help and they tell you they don't do it here, guess what they got to do? They got to go send your child and pay somebody, not you. They got to pay somebody that can do it. That's why you got your civil learning centers, different things like that. So that's why you want the IEP, because they signed the contract with you saying no matter what, we're sitting here telling you we have to educate your child. And if we don't have the resources, we need to be able to pay somebody that do have the resources, they're educated. That's what an IEP is, that, if that makes sense. And like you said, so reason why I like to share so much with parents, y'all didn't understand. I fought this without somebody like me telling. I just wouldn't take no for an answer. When I moved my son to this school, okay, I'm going to teach y'all something, how deep I am in this. And this is why academics so important to me. I moved my son to this school. It was like me taking my son from kindergarten to Harvard, because this school is academic. If y'all really came here during graduation time, every college in the country flag out there. Is that hard? My son was in French too from the other school. He came over here, first day the teacher called me and said, you might want to take him out the class. He said, Dad, when they closed the door, they didn't talk no English. He said, oh, the other school, they just gave me a handout and just told me to do the work. That's where I had to be, okay? But what I had to learn the first semester here, he failed 5 out of 6 classes, okay? And I wouldn't accept no for an answer. And the football coach said, hey, don't worry about it. We'll put him into what we call Odyssey, Play-Doh, and a lot of y'all kids, credit recovery got it at y'all school where they fail a class, they give them the work, they go do the work for about a week, turn it in and get the passing grade. NCAA don't accept that. So what you're telling me, Coach, if I allow you to put my son into some crap like that, he ain't got a shot to go to college and play ball. Right. Not interested. I'd rather for him not to play ball no more. So I had to figure it out. So to let you know, when the school year started, he was eligible because we was able to get the classes remade up in summer school. And I'm talking about that was a lot of summer school doing, but they told me it couldn't be done. But I'm a type of guy, you can't tell me that. I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to bug you to death about stuff until you tell me yes. That's how I am, okay? And that's why I like to come and speak to you guys, because I want to share it with you guys. I eat people up when you're talking about academics. And then even I done dealt with principals, and they said, well, you come and represent our child, you the principal, because they know I'm telling the truth, okay? So you got to fight. If you don't fight for your child and academically, then shame on you. Ask questions. Is somebody going to say yes? Somebody going to teach you how to do it? I do the same thing, guys, with the NCAA. I call them, and I already know the answer, and I say, what if this happened? What would y'all do? We'll do this. Okay, talk to y'all later. And then, now they'll say, why? What you up to? Whatever you up to, after you do it, you got about a year and a half, because we're going to find a way to block it. But that's what I do. I'm a loophole guy. So when y'all be looking at videos, and y'all be on social media, that's why I hate slideshows. They read the black and white. I care less about the black and white. I care about how I can pierce the veil and find a loophole to everything they do. That's what I do. When I came up with the Next Level Classic, it never was about football. It's never about the All-Star game. It was how I can find a loophole to teach parents and athletes what they need to know, not just running up and down the football field or a sports field. So that's why I'm trying to get y'all to open up. Ask your questions, because I'm going to give you the answer. And when you go home, you can call me when you're at the counselor officer at the school and put me on the phone, and I'll fight that battle for you, because I know what the rules is, because I had to learn it the hard way. I went through it. I'm a parent first. Don't get it wrong. I'm a parent, and the experiences that I'm telling y'all is not made up experience. I've been through it, whether I've been through it with families or even with my own family. I've been through it. So that's why I want to make sure I can sit here and tell y'all anything y'all want to know, but y'all might not want to know that. Somebody having some issues that they need talking through. So that's why I'm here. I'm giving you a free hour to get all your questions out. Now, after this hour, and 2 weeks from now, you call me, got a question, I'm going to say, go to the website and fill out the information and pay it, and then we'll do it, okay? But any other questions? Yes, sir.
With the athletic scholarships, are they still yearly versus like a 4-year academic scholarship?
So here's the truth about athletic scholarships. Man, this thing's so crazy, it ain't funny. An athletic scholarship is 1 year, is basically this. It's 5 years, renewable every year. Okay, if you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to keep your scholarship. They ain't kicking you out for doing the right things, okay? But if you're a kid that on scholarship and don't come to the meetings and don't go to class and flunk class and go in the streets and get locked up, this and that, yeah, they ain't going to renew you up every year. But if you're doing what you're supposed to do in the classroom, they want you to stay. And one reason they want you to stay, because you got something there called a retention clause. And all these colleges is faced with this now. The NCAA cares about one thing. Everybody all gonna say money. It's not. NCAA was set up for one reason, is to make sure a kid that goes to college finish college. And that's what they're all about, okay? So that's why they got all these rules in place. So they hit the colleges what we call a retention rate. If you bring in 20 athletes, you got to graduate so many of them athletes out of your school or you get penalized. So when you start hearing the transfer portal, that's why everybody crying, because the transfer portal sort of go against that. But your scholarship will renew every year as long as you're doing the right things. If you ain't doing the right things, they should take your money from you, to be honest with you. But you do the right things, they'll renew that scholarship every year.
So there's not a reason then to go academic with us. The council of the school is saying that you should go academic, it's a guaranteed 4 years.
So
You wouldn't worry about it.
first of all, tell your counselor at your school that's incorrect. Academic scholarship, and then I'm gonna answer your question. Academic scholarship is not a guaranteed 4 years. If you don't keep a certain GPA, they'll take that academic scholarship. Okay, so that's the same thing as football. Now, this is a perfect question, because I deal with this, and I'm gonna give you a scenario. If I had to do it all over again with my son, and he could get an academic scholarship versus an athletic scholarship, I would have told him to take the academic scholarship. Here's why. And I had this happen before. When he signed that athletic scholarship, if he decide he don't want to play ball no more, he has no money. If he signed that academic scholarship and don't want to play ball no more, as long as he keep his grades up, he still got it. So I had a young man one time, and he's my godson, and he went the academic side, okay, was a quarterback. In his third year in college, he came to me, he said, Coach, he said, you're going to get mad at me, but I need to tell you something. I said, what? I ain't going to get mad. He said, I decided that I don't want to play football no more because I want to be a doctor, and now I got to prepare to take the test to get in medical school, and it's hard. So I can't do football at the same time. I said, why would I be mad? Because I ain't playing football. No, you still got your money to finish your degree. Unfortunately, he never went to medical school. he decided that his dad was a doctor, so he decided he didn't want to be a doctor. But, yes, it's just according to, because football don't last forever. And then you got to still realize, so this is the bad part. You never said, what about a kid that get an athletic scholarship and get hurt and done and done, can't play no more? What happened to that kid? They slowly take his money, okay? They'll be nice to him, but they're going to slowly drift them off. And you got colleges now, you got to be careful, that's medically disqualifying players to play. And they're, I don't know y'all remember Jarvis Jones that was at University of Georgia, started out at USC, and Pete Carroll and them cut him, said he was unable to perform anymore. Georgia doctor said he went to Georgia and still went to the NFL. Those are the doctors' opinion. Can somebody do something or can't? So it's a lot of red tape in it all, and you have to be prepared for all of it. So I would say this: it's some bad to the academic side, it's some good. But the biggest thing is, so this is the recruiting piece, but I'll talk to you about it now. The biggest thing is the difference from an athletic scholarship kid and an academic scholarship kid is only one thing: what that tuition get, who pays the tuition. Because if you're on the football team, you get the same gear everybody else get. You get fed unlimited times like everybody else. You traveling the same way. You're part of that team. It's just that when it's time for you to get your books and your classes paid for, the check come out of the athletic budget versus the come out academic budget. But why is this? So you do also know there's a such thing as alumni scholarship for athletes. So let's just say I was a big-time football player at University of Georgia, and I made the pros. And I went back to Georgia and said, listen, I want the Andre Wise scholarship to go to an athlete of my choice, and you on the roster. Instead of them using their money for athletic money to pay for you, they'll just go use that scholarship, but your money getting paid for, and your class is getting paid from my foundation instead of the school. You still, matter of fact, it's a kid that played for Georgia that was named Malcolm Mitchell, that's in the pros, that wrote books. He was on an alumni scholarship. He never was on the athletic scholarship. But it's all kind of money that shifts around that people don't realize is there. Type deal. Great question, though. I hope I answered that right. Any other questions? I think we got about 5 more minutes before they're going to run me out here. Any other questions? Man, I got to get y'all loose, man. We got a whole weekend together now. I know somebody got some other questions now about anything. Well, somebody ask a question for somebody. Yes, ma'am. That's not true, but then let me say this, so I'm going to answer this correctly for you, and I'm still touching on a little bit of recruiting when I'm saying this, that I want to talk about a second time. When a kid, let me say this, there's a difference from a walk-on and a PWO, okay? PWO stands for preferred walk-on. A walk-on is a walk-on, okay? A PWO is a kid that they're saying, we like you, we would love for you to be a part of our team. We just don't have the money, scholarship, allowance for you. A walk-on kid is a kid that just go and get into a school and come in and try out for the team. Truthfully, 99.9% of those kids don't even make the team, okay? But before a kid, I would tell, before a kid take a walk-on deal, have somebody like us negotiate that deal. Or negotiate it that it's a PWO, meaning you got a roster spot. You don't try it for nothing. Your money just comes from a different department. That's what the preferred means you already on roster. Your money just being paid somewhere else. So, but I would like to tell all the guys, get your GPAs up high as you can get them, and then let the chips fall, because that's money. That's still money. It doesn't matter I always tell parents and kids, it don't matter where the money come from as long as it don't come out your parents' pocket. If it come from drop out the sky, we don't care. But if it coming out your mom and dad's pocket, that's a different story. So if somebody want to give you $10,000 to go to school because you got a 3.5 GPA, I'll take it. It doesn't matter as long as I ain't got to pay it. If somebody want to grant that money to you, cool. As long as my mom and dad ain't got to write that $15,000, $20,000 out their pocket. That's where I look at it with all of them. You know, all right. Any other questions? The class what? Not with a athlete. With an athlete, they don't care about nothing. Just like, for example, great question. You know how many athletes have to write essays to get into college? 0. A regular student got to write an essay just to put in his application. So class ranking, only time class ranking matter is on the NAIA level. Class ranking don't matter on the NCAA level. Division III, it does a little bit because they get their money differently, and we'll talk about that in recruiting. But the rest of them, they don't care nothing about the class ranking. You clear the clearinghouse, I'm going to say it again. You clear the clearinghouse, and you being recruited, you're going to get in. Trust me when I tell you that. I done seen it firsthand. Now, if somebody tell you, you say, well, what you majoring in? I majored in art. That means that they got in slowly, so they gave them the easiest degree to get, because it's all about playing ball. And what I try to tell these kids, use these colleges because they're going to use you. Don't get it, take it personally, don't get mad. You're going to get used. If you don't use them to get your degree and better yourself, shame on you, because that's all it is. Any other questions? I got time for one more. You got another? We're looking at, is actually your weighted GPA, because it's the core classes. Just like when colleges look at GPA, they look at PE classes, all this and all that. That's why I said if you clear the clearinghouse, you're going to be straight anyway, because their rules is so much more stringent than just a regular school. So just think, if you had a 2.5 GPA and then we had the PE classes, which you probably got 100 for dressing out, your GPA look better, right? So you already there, 100%. So let me make an announcement. First of all, parents, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long tomorrow. We're going to get through it. Let your hair back. We friendly. I promise you. All the parents that with us the last year, they'll tell you we're friendly, okay? What I want to tell y'all, number one, after you leave here, they're going to be at practice down on the fields. If you leave here, don't do what I did. You can leave here and go straight across and walk down the hill. Just don't walk back up it, because I was dead. Or you can go here and go back down the side steps and go to the side, and when you walk down through there, going into the stadium, you'll see one field there, the other field on the field down there. Practice is going to be 2 hours. Y'all welcome to watch practice, okay? Just don't go on the fields type deal. But we'll be around 100%. I'm around all day. We introduce y'all to everybody need to be introduced to. When we get back to the hotel later tonight, we're going to socialize. I'll bring the 2 head coaches in the parent room, y'all don't give them too much of a hard time, but they'll talk to you. They'll answer questions for you. You know, same thing with me. You'll be able to set up some one-on-one time with me if you want to. I'm gonna come and get y'all, and I got a new job this time. Last weekend I ain't have it, but I got a promotion that I get to interview all the parents myself in the podcast room because they said parents don't want to talk to the reporters. I said they'll talk to me. Okay, so we want y'all to have a good time, take everything in, and the whole mission is I want y'all as parents to learn more here than you knew before you came. And that's why I do these sessions type deals. I know everybody been on the road, still halfway asleep, probably hungry, all the above, but next session we'll talk about recruiting. So again, practice, we got practice, we'll have lunch. After lunch, we'll have everybody back in here. We'll have the boys in here, one team be there, parents in the middle, and y'all will hear from our speakers. Today we got a medical panel, which I love them, which is doctors, that's medical doctors. They're going to talk about the body and really teach y'all and the kids about all these supplements and all this energy drinks. Today we got them. Who all we got today? We got the medical panel. I know. Jim, who I got on the list today? Medical panel. Okay. All right. So financial literacy, people that was here with us last weekend out of Dallas, Texas, they're gonna do they're gonna be virtual today. They're gonna teach the guys and us about financial literacy because a lot of the kids ain't got no sense of money right now. And then we got we are actually on an agency also, and the lady that's gonna come and speak helped the University of Georgia write the NLI collective agreement for the University of Georgia, and she's actually our personal attorney. She's gonna come in and speak on NLI collectives and explain the difference because a lot of you live in states now that your kid can get paid in high school. Georgia athletes can get paid. Name, image, and likeness. Florida, California, it's several states that can do it. You need to learn how to build the brands now because when they get into college, it'll pay off. So other than that, we'll be around. Got my store outside. I know it's a little warm today. I'm letting you know it's warm today because Mother Nature fighting with her boys, and supposed to be a little warm tomorrow. But game day tomorrow evening is going to drop. And so we got hoodies out there you can purchase. She got T-shirts, this and that, that's out there. Any question I need to answer, anybody got any problem in the hotel, problems, anything like that? Everything good?